Hey, what is up, everybody? This is your boy AJTRIP, and welcome to a top 10 list. With the Royal Rumble just days away, we are doing the top 10 Royal Rumble Final Twos. Now, there are many ways you can go about doing a Royal Rumble top 10 Final Two list. But the way I'm doing it is, I'm doing it depending on when it comes to the story of, the backstory, maybe a little bit of the front story, and maybe a little bit of the story in the match. And the star power is a part of that as well. So let's go ahead and get right into it. The top 10 Royal Rumble Final Twos. A tie for number 10 is Hulk Hogan beating Earthquake and Jey Uso eliminating John Cena. Let's start with Earthquake and Hulk Hogan. The reason why Hulk Hogan and Earthquake is 10th, tied for 10th on this list, is because Hulk Hogan, by defeating Earthquake, became the two-time Royal Rumble winner. Now, this was a time before where winning the championship, or winning the Royal Rumble, wasn't a ticket to WrestleMania. Although because of this victory, he did go on to face Sergeant Slaughter at WrestleMania, but this was just a Royal Rumble. The stipulation hadn't been capitalized until 2 years later in 1993. And this has also been a feud where Earthquake had took down Hulk Hogan. He had put him out on the shelf, and Hogan came back during the SummerSlam and defeated Earthquake then. And then of course he eliminates Earthquake with the big boot and a clothesline and a leg drop and a clothesline over the top rope to win his second consecutive Royal Rumble match. So that's why Hogan and Earthquake is tied for 10th. And it's tied with Jey Uso and John Cena. This leads Jey Uso to go on to become the World Heavyweight Champion for as short as a reign as it was. He won this and he went on to win the championship at WrestleMania. And this, of course, was John Cena's final Royal Rumble. And this was John Cena trying to get his shot at a match at WrestleMania to try to become the never seen 17, which he would go on to do and be the 17 times World Heavyweight Champion. So these are incredible final twos, and they're tied for 10th of the top 10 Royal Rumble final twos. Number 9, Batista eliminating John Cena in the 2005 Royal Rumble. Now, this one is on this list for a myriad of reasons. Obviously, the two guys who would go on to basically do the Ruthless Aggression era, to be on top of the Ruthless Aggression era, and become main attraction, big stars, multiple time world champion. We talk about John Cena becoming 17-time world champion. This started a new era in WWE. It's also funny because of what's happening in this picture right here. Not only does John Cena and Batista, they go over the top rope and they simultaneously hit the floor at the same time. But then Vince comes out and is all pissed off and tries to get in the ring and tears both hamstrings. Oh, just insane. They would go through all of this, kind of restart the thing, and then Batista would then go ahead and dump John Cena over the top rope to be the true winner of the Royal Rumble. But man, this was incredible for everything. The unscripted, going over the top rope and hitting the floor at the same time. McMahon tearing both of his quads, and just the hilarity that ensues in this aftermath of him just sitting like a little child on his in the ring, is amazing. It's Batista eliminating John Cena in 2005 as number 9 on the list of the top 10 final twos in Royal Rumble history. Number 8. It's Shawn Michaels and British Bulldog from the 1995 Royal Rumble, where Shawn Michaels eliminated British Bulldog. This was the first time where a man who started from number 1 went all the way through and won the Royal Rumble. One of 3 men to do it. Maybe even 4 men? Maybe 3 men and 1 woman. I think Rhea did it. Which, by the way, as I'm speaking of that, the women, some of you may look at this and say that there are no women on this list. Well, to be perfectly honest with you, I forgot. I forget. As I quickly try to go through my head of the final twos, I would have to go back and look at them, but I totally forgot, and that's on me. I may have to redo this list next year to maybe put women on the list, but we'll have to wait and see. Or maybe would next be 10? No, okay, it doesn't matter. But yeah, there are no women on this because I forgot the women do a Royal Rumble. That's on me. But maybe you can also say that maybe none of those final 2 were memorable enough, right? You can maybe say like the first one between with Asuka and Nikki Bella, being, because it was just the first one, the first ever Royal Rumble. So maybe should be included on this list. I would maybe think about that, but that's neither here nor there. So we go back here to Shawn Michaels and British Bulldog, and it's just folded right here because British Bulldog throws Shawn over the top rope, and Shawn grabs him and he's got 1 foot, and it's Vince going 1 foot, 1 foot, 1 foot, 1 foot, and Jerry Lawler's going whoa, 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 and it's just it's an amazing thing, and it's the quickest Royal Rumble because people came in 60 seconds, and so it's the quickest Royal Rumble. I think Shawn Michaels started from 1, and he only did what was it, 40 some minutes? He only did 40 some minutes. So it was what it was, but it's still tremendous. When the first time in history that somebody goes from number 1 and makes it, it's got to be on this list. So Shawn Michaels and eliminating the British Bulldog as the number 8 final 2 in Royal Rumble history. Number 7. In 2018, Shinsuke Nakamura eliminating Roman Reigns. Now, the reason why this is on this is because of the way it kind of started happening. We had a final 6 of maybe like the old guard, and it was Cena, and it was Cena, it was Rey Mysterio, and it was it was somebody else. I don't think it was Orton. It might have been Orton. I'm not even sure. But it was Cena, Mysterio, and Orton, and it was Shinsuke, Roman, and Finn. Maybe Sheamus. I can't remember who, but that's who it was. It was kind of like the old guard versus the new guard, and it came down to Shinsuke and Roman Reigns, and Shinsuke threw Roman Reigns over the top, and Shinsuke Nakamura won. He went on to go on to WrestleMania to take on AJ Styles. And a good match. Match that is very underrated because people, for some reason, want to go back to the New Japan match they had, which is just ridiculous. This was the WrestleMania match was really good, really good, and it should not be considered to be bad in any sort of way. But anyway, but this is really good, and this was kind of the thing because you didn't necessarily know who they were going to go with. You thought maybe they would go back with Roman because obviously it was going to be Roman and Brock was going to be the main event of WrestleMania 34. I believe this was going to be. So he thought maybe Roman would win it again, and there was always a chance that they would maybe do like a Cena, or they would do someone else. But I didn't think Shinsuke was going to be on top of the list because they were just not going to go that way. But they did. Shinsuke won, and all was all, man. It was really good. So you give them credit to that. So number 7 on the list of the top Royal Rumble Final Twos of all time, Shinsuke Nakamura eliminating Roman Reigns in the 2018 Royal Rumble. Number 6 in 2008, John Cena and Triple H. This is from Madison Square Garden. This is the comeback, where the epic comeback. This is part of the story. So John Cena gets injured by Randy Orton, injuring his pectoral. Then they're saying he's going to be out for a year, maybe. He did it in like in October or November or something like that, and he tore his pectoral. He came back in only 3 months, and he was back at the end of the Royal Rumble, and he won it. And it was amazing. And it was one of those fickle crowd things, right? Because he's number 30. The bell rings, and it's him, and the crowd place goes nuts. They can't believe it's John Cena. And then afterwards, they're like, "Wait a minute, it's John Cena." Boo! So it's insane, and he did a fantastic job. You know, making a comeback, and him and Triple H made it seem real. Triple H from the beginning, when he saw that John comes out, was amazing. And at one point, before the final 2, it was the final 3. Batista was in there. That's one of those. They rarely do final 3s, but him being in there, that was a good final 3 as well. So props to John Cena, and for coming back so quickly on a torn pectoral muscle. Unreal. He is number 6 on the list of the top 10 final twos of all time. John Cena eliminating Triple H in the 2008 Royal Rumble. Talking about next, number 5, Cody Rhodes and Gunther. So Cody Rhodes comes back home, and he has a tremendous 3-match series with Seth Rollins. And in one of those, and then last one, the Hell in a Cell one, training for that one, he tears his pectoral. And the doctors say that he can't hurt it anymore. So he goes out and has an unbelievable Hell in a Cell match with that torn pectoral. And I think that's when he won everybody over. I think when he came back to WWE, sure, they were happy to see him, happy to see him like that. But I think some people maybe still thought, well, this is the guy who started us, and this was the guy who was, in AEW. As Roman once said, not getting over in his own company that he created. But that got him over with the crowd, and people were wanting to see that. They were wanting for him to make his comeback, and it did. And Gunther, talking about this, he started from number 1. Cody was 30, and Gunther, because of this, became the all-time Royal Rumble holder, for a time in a single Royal Rumble. I believe that still is the case, unless someone else afterwards beat that record. I don't think that they did, but and a lot of people say that a great final 2 is to have a mini match within the match. I don't think that. And there are many things on my list where there's not a mini match, right? But like I said at the beginning, it's about the story that comes before it, the story of the final 2, the story afterwards, the star power. All of that combined is what makes this people get on this list. But this one is incredible because this is about Cody Rhodes trying to finish his story. And he did just that when he eliminated Gunther. So it was amazing. Number 5 on the list of the top 10 final twos of all time in Royal Rumble history. That's 2023. Cody Rhodes eliminating Gunther. Number 4, Randy Orton and Rey Mysterio. And this one is really all about the story. In the October before the Royal Rumble, November, whatever it may have been, Eddie Guerrero passed away. And it was a shock to us all. It was a shock to the wrestling world, to the wrestling fans, to the people in that building. And I think a lot of people maybe wanted Rey Mysterio to win because of Eddie. But again, you had Triple H and Randy Orton. Again, Triple H and Randy Orton were another final 3 with Rey Mysterio. Again, final 3s were good like this. We had some other stars as well in the Rumble. Yeah, but you kind of thought maybe, Shawn Michaels, I think, was in it as well. So you maybe thought could have been one of them. We all were wanting Ray. And Ray came out from number 2. So, and you think, oh, man, really? But Ray did it. He hung on. He was able to reverse or RKO and take Randy Orton over the top rope and get the victory and defeat Randy Orton with this spot at WrestleMania, in which he would then go on to win the World Heavyweight Championship for Eddie. Amazing. Just truly emotional and just wonderful to see. Number 4 on the list of Royal Rumble final twos of all time. Rey Mysterio eliminating Randy Orton, 2006 Royal Rumble. Now, I hope we can have a conversation, a thought, a whatever you may call it, about Chris Benoit, and not go over the top with it by saying that you are celebrating a man who did a heinous act. I hope we can all do that. I hope we are grown up enough to do that. Because Chris Benoit is on this list at number 3. It's him and the Big Show. And again, it's the story that is told here. He came out from the number 1 spot. He would be the 2nd person in WWE history to come in from the number 1 spot and win it all. And the way he did, the way he won it, as you can see the pictures, getting Big Show in a guillotine and choking Big Show out enough that he could get him over the top rope and then out of the ring onto the floor to win the Royal Rumble. That's a great, him being number 1 and the way he did it, that's a great story to tell. He then would go on to WrestleMania 20 in Madison Square Garden and win the World Heavyweight Championship, where he would then embrace with Eddie Guerrero. Again, truly great storytelling, great match stuff. And I can put him on this list for that without celebrating what he did or anything like that. And not saying that what he did is okay, because obviously it wasn't. So again, I hope that we can talk about Chris Benoit in a way to where we can be honest and truthful about his career and the stuff that he has done, and even put him on a list such as this, without making the reach of, oh, he sides with murderers. No, I don't. So I hope we can do that. I want to hope that we can. Sometimes in this world, where this world goes, it doesn't seem like that, but I hope that we can. Number 3 on the list of the top 10 Royal Rumble Final Twos is Chris Benoit eliminating the Big Show in the 2004 Royal Rumble. Number 2, Bret Hart and Lex Luger from the 1994 Royal Rumble. This is where they both won. Now we know in 2005, Batista and Luger both went over. No, Batista and Cena went over the top rope. Both hit the floor at the same time. We talked about it. Vince came out, restarted it, and Batista didn't win. But that was the thing. That was not supposed to happen. This was supposed to happen. Now, what the alleged reason is because they were trying to see who was the more. Vince wanted to see who was more over, I guess. Was it Lex Luger or was it Bret Hart? So they both would go over. And then they announced Luger as a champion. One referee. You see, there's 2 referees in the ring. So Vince wanted to hear the pop from Luger. And then the other referee would come in and then tell Howard Finkel that actually Bret Hart won. And then you hear the crowd for that. So then, based on that reaction, that is apparently who would be where Vince was going to have win at WrestleMania. Was who got the bigger reaction because they were probably more over crowd. And then Jack Tunney came down, declared them both the winners, and then we had the whole fakakta thing of both guys getting a match. Both guys getting a match for the championship. Luger got one. He got the first opportunity, and then Bret got the second opportunity. Bret also had to wrestle Owen Hart, as well. So yeah, so many other things. So yeah, that was the thing. And of course we all know that Bret Hart went on to become at that time he was 2-time WWF champion. And of course, talking about early in the evening, his own brother Owen Hart kicked his leg from off his leg, and so he wrestled the Royal Rumble with a bad leg and everything like that. So good story, good thing. And another reason was because the Royal Rumble 1994 that was my first wrestling pay-per-view / they called pay-per-views at the time. We call them premium live event that I had ordered, and I just enjoyed. I loved each and every one of them. At one point, that's what I had. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do that for a Patreon. If I ever get to some amount of Patreons where I can do stuff like that, I'm going to do like a watch long for that and get my thoughts on it now, years after gone by, and what I was thinking at that time, and all those other good things. So, but yeah, Bret Hart and Lex Luger, co-winners of the 1994 Royal Rumble, and the number 2 overall final twos of all time in Royal Rumble history. And of course, yes, I think this is everybody's number 1. If they would do a list, number 1 final 2 of all time in Royal Rumble history, Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker from 2007. Now, this is what most people want out of their final 2. A mini match between 2 big names, 2 names that would be deserving of winning the Royal Rumble. This is Undertaker trying to get back to the top, get back on top, becoming the World Heavyweight Champion. And this is Shawn Michaels. He had just him and Triple H had just been doing the DX. Triple H earlier in the month had tore his quad again. That's how he tore the other quad in a match with him and Rated RKO. This actually supposed to be Triple H because at WrestleMania 22, it was Triple H tapping out to John Cena. So then at WrestleMania 2000, WrestleMania 23, it was going to be Triple H getting the win back from John Cena and becoming the World Heavyweight Champion again. But like I say, tore his quad, so they put Shawn Michaels in there, and Shawn Michaels did the thing, and then it was done Shawn Michaels and Triple H, and you know, at one point, um, Undertaker got busted open. I think it might have been from those guys, Edge and Randy Orton, rated RKO. That might have been the final four, something like that. And then they were both thrown over the ropes. So then it was Shawn and Taker, and they kept it up. And Taker was overcoming the, being busted open and everything like that. I think he was the first guy to win from the 30 position. Next year, Cena, of course, would do it the 2 years in a row, but he was the first guy to do it. So, and that's just how it was. And it was terrific. It was absolutely amazing, and it is truly one of the great spectacles in Royal Rumble history. It is the #1 final two of all time in Royal Rumble history. It's The Undertaker eliminating Shawn Michaels in the 2007 Royal Rumble. Alright guys, there you have it. My top 10 Royal Rumble Final 2s. Post your comment down below. Tell me what you guys think. Let me know what you guys thought about my list. If you guys disagree, who did I miss? Obviously, I missed the women. But that's neither here nor there. Okay? That's on me. But looking back on it, I don't know if maybe the women deserve to have a thing on this list just yet. So that's okay. There's always this year. Alright guys, thank you guys so much for watching. This is your boy, AJTRIP, signing off. As always, be good to each other, y'all. Be careful out there. And I am out.